All right, YouTube, well, it's that time. Finally have some upgrades to talk about. If you watched my first video, I might go over some of the things again, but just bear with it. Just want to make sure I don't forget anything. Let's start by taking the leaf off. That's not an upgrade. All right, so this is my 2022 Stumpjumper Alloy. Couple of reasons why I went with this bike was at the time there wasn't anything under 6,000 that was available in the S3 size. Like, I guess if I could have at the time, I would have probably gone with the comp alloy, but and the only reason for that was just to get the Fox suspension. But in hindsight, that probably wouldn't have been a great idea because it still has NX drivetrain, which, while it's better than the SX that comes on the alloy, it's still something that I would have wanted to upgrade eventually anyways. So I'll just start from the rear and go forward. So right out the gate, I got the GX derailleur. This is a 520% compatible one. So if and ever I get to the point where I want to change the cassette, I won't have to worry about getting a new derailleur. Just recently, as in yesterday recently, I put on some GX cranks, which those come with a 32 tooth chain ring, which is 2 teeth more than the 30 that it comes standard with, which, in case you're interested in doing that, I would have probably stuck with the 30 tooth, but again, there wasn't anything available. Got a pretty good price on this, and with the dub bottom bracket, it was less than $200. So it seemed like enough of an upgrade to justify the cost, and I just took it for my first ride, and I'm actually liking it. I was a little worried that the 32 tooth, because it does change the gearing a little bit. They said it's basically 6.7% on the higher end, so your bailout gear won't be as bailout. So you may have to, if you're primarily riding on the 4th chainring, you might have to go up to the 5th one, or on the gear on the cassette. But I didn't really notice that much of a difference, to be honest with you. If anything, I think the pedal efficiency of having a stiffer chainring, or not chainring, stiffer cranks and lighter cranks at that kind of counterbalances any loss you get from the 2 teeth. Plus you get to go faster, and faster is always better, right? All right, so moving up, I picked this up off of Pink Bike. It came off of a Santa Cruz. It's a Float DPS Performance Elite, I believe is. It's a lot, and those aren't the original stickers on there, so that won't help much. The only difference between this and the standard Float DPS is that it has 3 settings, or 3 ability to dial in your suspension 3 ways. So you got your rebound, you got your open, close, in between, and then this black dial. When it's in the open setting, you can go, there's 3 settings there. It just it helps dial in that open setting a little bit more, so it's not just completely open. It can have a little firmness to it, which I put it on 2. Seem to like it. Moving forward, I changed the stem for no other reason than I was trying to match my pedals and everything else that's got this magenta on there. Now granted, this is more purple, but as they say in the carpentry world, close enough. Like I said, just for looks, doesn't change the reach or anything from the factory one. Just adds a little color, and I guess it's maybe a few grams lighter. Moving around, shifter, I went with the XX1. Again, I'm a sucker for a deal. I got a ridiculously good price. I think it was like $60 shipped, brand new. The only difference between the X01 and XX1 is the amount of carbon on here. You do have adjustable, if I can get it to focus, hold on. You do have adjustable shifter, so you can move this up or down, and you can change that out if you really wanted to. We'll say it's a lot more clicky than the SX1, and the fact that you can actually use the SRAM mounted systems. I don't have one on the brake because it's not a SRAM brake, but if ever I do, I can always get the matchmaker and get that on there. And I believe the stock dropper post should be matchmaker compliant as well, judging just by how it looks. Looks like it would go in there just fine. That is about it. I will say, let me get this to focus. The only things I could potentially want to upgrade in the future at this point, everyone changes the brakes out, and it's probably like, why would you change your chain ring and crank before changing the brakes or any of this stuff, right? Honestly, I like the brakes. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I may be in the minority on that, but until they do fail me, I'm gonna keep them on there. I mean, basically the MT Magura sports are about the only thing I'm looking at, and that's still like a $250 investment. May keep it all SRAM and get some SRAMs in the future, but it's not really a priority. Wheels and hubs, again, I'm a casual rider. I only get to go once in a while, so I don't know if I would necessarily benefit from that. Maybe a GX chainring at some point just to get that 520. But all right, later on.